Well, Mr. Madam Chair, lockdown is a crucial policy, especially during the COVID-19 outbreaks. It forces us to stay where we are. The term stay at home is used to lockdown that affects areas instead of a specific location. Under status quo now is that in this case, government really believes that lockdown is the best method to stop the coronavirus outbreaks around the world since the corona outbreaks. Based on the situation these days, lockdown could be effective to stop the spreading of COVID-19 only for developed countries such as Aussie or Singapore or UK, but it's totally different when it comes to developing countries such as India, which is recently reported that they have lack of oxygen, also full of hospital rooms, Mr. Speakers. Talking about developing country, we are talking about Indonesia, which actually have highest cases of coronavirus, Mr. Speakers, and it means that comparing to other countries that they don't need to wear masks means that Indonesia laws and health protocol doesn't go well as expected. Government is failed to fulfill the needs like social aids and also to run the health protocol. Okay, our stance is really clear, Mr. Madam Speakers. Why we would like to uphold the essence of happiness, humanity between the right of happiness, because the first one is that lockdown isn't a solution. Seeing at how PPKM is being held by government bit by bit. For example, PPKM is being expanded until 12 August and being extended again until 20 August and so on. It's concluded that government haven't ready to help the lockdown, Mr. Speakers. It feels like lockdown could create the untrust between the government and society. For example, the first one, foreign workers is easier to stay and government isn't really limit and strict the health protocol. In addition, our own citizen is forced to have the lockdown. And welcome to my first argument, Mr. Speakers. The first argument is low government's preparation. Lockdown is definitely not for every country, because especially Indonesia, because we have 4 points why we shouldn't do lockdown. Because the first one is that Indonesia has debt for about 6 trillion, and when we are holding lockdown for the coronavirus, it means that we need more funds. For example, for medicals, also for food supplies and funds. Basically, we need more funds, but we actually don't have the ability to afford all of these things. And the second one is that Indonesia is lack of social aids, for example, like funds, because recently reported being corrupted instead of given to the needs, Mr. Speakers. And the third one is that the crime cases is keep increasing when lockdown is airing. Recently, there's like a new case. There are so many people who actually stole food supply from the supermarket or from the markets around their houses to fulfill their daily needs, Mr. Speakers. And the fourth one is that Indonesia has panic action towards the everything. For example, when coronavirus is firstly announced, people start to panic buying and keep the stock of the medikits, for example, masks, sanitizers, and etc. And also, government is too late to help the lockdown. It's late for about 5 months or so. The first one is that the Indonesian government is having low preparation, and also the second one is that government is too late to help the lockdown. And the second one is that tackling the COVID outbreaks can be guaranteed by the lockdown because it will bring them to two situations. The first one is that it will bring them to wrong mindset. For example, apathetic, that they will think like whether we follow the protocol or not, we will die some way. And this kind of mindset will be experienced by the hopeless, by the people who actually need something, but they couldn't receive the social aids that actually should have given to them instead of being corrupted by the government. And this kind of mindset could lead them into the wrong decisions, Mr. Speakers. And the second one is that they will did crime, Mr. Speakers. The crime cases of the coronavirus outbreaks is increasing. Moreover, when the prisoners is the government setting free the prisoners, which we can guarantee whether they will do crime or not, Mr. Speaker. So because the bad guy is already exists, and we can guarantee whether they will do crime or not. And the second second one is the real new bad guy because of the hopeless people, and because of these two, we can justify the lockdowns. And the third, welcome to my third arguments, Mr. Honorable Speakers, the correlation between the economic mobility with lockdown. There's two actors who actually having disadvantages with this point, Mr. Speaker. The first one is society, and the second one is the country. Welcome to my first points, the society, because the restriction of the mobility affects on the method of the works, which they should work at home, which means that it's also affect the economic activities, especially as a society. The one, for example, in the field workers should have work on their place, but they don't have any place for them to work, so they can earn money, Mr. Speakers. And the second one is that the export and import activities. Export-import activities is being stopped to decrease the number of COVID-19 cases. And also, there are so many dates from export in 2020 is dominated by gas and fossil fuel. These products is actually interested by most of the countries, which actually could give us so many bonuses and give us so many profit. But because of the coronavirus, we can actually guarantee maximize the number of the export. So there's two disadvantages that we can get if we don't justify the export and the import. The first one is that from the export it could decrease the economic growth, for example, like the factory facilities, and the second one from the import increase the level of the exchange rate. Okay, because of the first one is that low government pressure, and the second one is that it's not effective to tackle the COVID-19, and the third one is distract the society economy. By these arguments, I still oppose the motion.
Madam and Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity to present my views under the motion of this House believe that lockdown can effectively stop the pandemic spread in Indonesia. My first speaker had already delivered their arguments, which are the first one is low government preparation, and the second one is lockdown doesn't guarantee or not effective to tackle COVID outbreaks. And the last one is destruct society economy. With the stance of, we would like to uphold the essence of humanity between right happiness. And in this occasion, Madam and Mr. Speaker, I try to bring two arguments. The first one is how lockdown impacting mental health and learning loss in Indonesia, and the second one is Indonesian citizen behavior towards isolation. So let's come to my first argument. The isolation and lockdown measures have several negative mental health consequences, which are due to loss of personal freedom, family separation, loss of income, fear, raising anxiety, stress, depression, and increased financial burden effect of unemployment and resulting in people losing their job, which had negative consequences on families and individual behaviors and perception of life in Indonesia itself. Some more, a survey regarding the pandemic effect was administered out of 977 parents with 13 to 18 years old teens. As a result, as many of 64% of parents say that their children have shown signs of new or deteriorating mental health condition since the beginning of pandemic on March 2020. This is due to the new policy of isolation and online learning. Many researchers' findings also highlight the challenges within the implementation of online teaching and learning activities. These challenges have been reported to result from expensive internet data package and bad signal, limited IT infrastructure, and limited skills on using IT. The main challenges faced by students also in joining the online classes, namely heavy tasks, student low motivation, and also unsupportive environment. These statements indicate that the student learning got much disturbance at home. Also, the risk of learning loss is rising in Indonesia. Unfortunately, according to the Kemendikbud, learning loss recovery could take up to 9 years. Aside from the clear burden of COVID-19 as physical disease, the virus had produced uncertainty and altered the daily routines of millions of people. trigger psychological issues, created financial pressures, and required extensive social isolation from people. It is not surprising that with a significant increase of change for many people throughout the COVID-19 pandemics, comes an increase in mental illness such as anxiety and depression. Based on the data of Kemendikbud, based on the data of Kemenaker, the COVID-19 affected 3.5 million labor and estimated that unemployment could reach 5.23 million. Nevertheless, the government estimated 25 million workers are in danger of losing their jobs, especially from the informal free workers that have to get out to work. It caused significant financial pressures to the workers and especially on poorer households, with the cost of extra food, medicine, and daily needs. These problems may lead to various kinds of mental problems such as depression, anxiety, a feeling of helplessness, and the fear of uncertainty. So, our timeline are strongly disagree about the implements of lockdown that have negatively affected many people's mental health and raising the risk of learning loss that can be a massive threat in Indonesia's education. Now, let's come to my second argument, which is Indonesian behavior towards isolation. Madam and Mr. Speaker, the spread of COVID-19 is related to people's knowledge, behavior, and attitude, which are very closely related to clean living habits and public awareness of the dangers of COVID-19. Madam and Mr. Speaker, in Indonesia itself, Indonesian people are still not afraid to do activities that are exposed to crowds. They are confident that the COVID-19 is not that dangerous as characteristic of Indonesian people who tend to relax in facing any circumstances and believe that God will protect Indonesia. They believe confidently that prayer can save them, thinking they should fear God, not the virus. And in my opinion, Madam and Mr. Speaker, it is very different from the concept of lockdown. A survey was done. There were 26.5% respondents who were not afraid and continued to travel during the isolation. And there were 23.4% of respondents who were still going to crowded places. It shows that Indonesian people themselves cannot cooperate with the policy and lockdown will not work in Indonesia. So, our team are strongly disagree of the implements of lockdown that caused by Indonesian behavior that won't help the whole isolation thing go down. Because of that, we really oppose the motion.
Ladies and gentlemen, my first and second speaker already stated their argument, and I'm here to conclude and clarify their stance. First, the low government preparation make it useless to do the lockdown now. Other countries already done their lockdown at the start of the pandemic when they first have their COVID cases. And as we just started now, it will have different outcomes than what we expect. So it will be pretty useless. Not to mention with our mental state right now, it will be very pressuring for us. Also, Indonesia is also still in debt and corruption. If we go to lockdown now, we will be in more debts than we already have before. Next is tackling the COVID outburst can't guarantee by lockdown. Economy issue is a main problem in Indonesia. Why is it connected to the argument? Well, with the apathetic mindset of Indonesian, people will do everything to survive. They may go to office and workspace with no care at all for the health protocol, which make the health protocol an empty promise. With this mindset, the crime rate cases also increase. For example, the lady that steal milk and medicines is just a small crime, but as it go on, the crime will be bigger and bigger, and that's why we cannot predict that the crime rate will go down. Not to mention, the prisoner who got out of prison also maybe haven't changed yet. They maybe still do crimes. This is why lockdown is not efficient in Indonesia. After that, we still have the correlation between economy and mobility with the lockdown. Economy can be decreased because of the society's economy, which have its own advantage and disadvantage for the workers, and the country's economy because of the export of and import should be reduced because of the lockdown. And then we have the impact of lockdown on mental health and learning loss. We are not mentally stable for the lockdown. 64% out of the 977 parents stated that their kids has shown signs of new mental disorders since the start of the pandemic. The causes of this is family separation, the loss of personal freedom, etc. The common mental issues that we know is depression and anxiety, but it does not limit the mental illness that we will find. Maybe some kids have DID, maybe some kids have eating disorders, and so on and so on. Online classes is also a main challenge for students to face due to the low motivation and unsupportive environment. Their grades will increase and go low. Learning loss is rising and it could take up to 9 years to recover, according to the Kemendikbud. The last one is that Indonesian behavior towards isolation is different than other countries. Indonesians are stubborn and they believe that God will fix everything, but the truth is, it's not like that. In a survey result, 60.5% of people are not afraid to travel, while 23.34% is still going to crowded places. Because of this, we beg to oppose the motion.